Hi there, my name is Marc. I'm the publisher of Cannabis Culture magazine, and it's the day before 420 on April 19th. Not only are the Canucks poised to win the series against Dallas tonight, and look at this, I have my 420 uniform that the Canucks made especially for me, and it's most suitable on this fabulous weekend coming up where we're going to celebrate with the largest 420 celebration in the world tomorrow at the Art Gallery on Georgia Street between Hornby and Howe. And with me right now, who's going to be hanging out with us here in Vancouver for the next couple of days and greeting activists and hanging out with people, and especially will be at the Art Gallery tomorrow on 420, is Grant Krieger of Calgary, Alberta. And Grant's not a bong hitter, he's a joint smoker, so I rolled him a joint, so don't think I'm ignoring him. And Grant's here to tell us about his trials and tribulations that are coming up, as Grant is one of the most esteemed activists in the entire country. I first met him in 1996. He's been selling marijuana at low prices to people across the prairies for over a decade. He's been charged innumerable times, and before jury trials, the juries have always acquitted him. He recently went to the Supreme Court and won. He told us he's going to tell us about that, and he's going to tell us about the trials that are coming up. Grant, it's great to see you here.
Thanks, Mark.
And I'm really glad you came to Vancouver to celebrate 420 with us. And tell us, I like to think I'm the person that's charged the most in this country, and I might be. I've been arrested 22 times for pot, but how many times have you been arrested? And you've been jailed probably as many times as I have.
Correct.
Yeah, so when did you start?
My first arrest was in '96 in Amsterdam.
Oh, that's right.
Trying to leave the country with a kilo of pot to come back here with.
You were going to bring that pot here. You bought it in Amsterdam. You thought you were legally allowed to do that at the time, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And why was that?
Well, I have multiple sclerosis, and I found it really alleviated my problems.
So you bought this for yourself because Amsterdam's a good place to get good weed.
Yes.
And you boarded the plane in Amsterdam, and you were arrested.
I never quite made the plane. They were waiting for me when I was checking into the plane.
Ah, now what do you think happened there? Here, let's light this joint up and get this going. This has got some wonderful bubble hash from the Bubble Man, Crush, and champagne and some other sativas, plus some wonderful weed, organic Jack Herrera, I believe. Let's get that thing going there. And so you tried to board the plane with a pound of weed, and you got caught, you lost the pound, and that began your adventures.
Yes, I did. I spent 3 days in jail in Amsterdam before they deported me back to Canada.
But when you came back to Canada, you began to set up a compassion club.
Correct.
And what was that compassion club? That's the Grant Krieger Foundation that now, well, as far as I know, has been distributing marijuana from Winnipeg and Manitoba right over to Alberta for the three prairies provinces in Canada. And you've been charged in every province, probably multiple times.
Correct.
And how many times would you say you've been charged, separate instances, in the last 10 years since then?
Oh, I can't even count the number of times.
Probably at least a dozen.
At least a dozen.
At least 12 times. And you've been jailed on numerous occasions overnight. And
the longest time in jail was 16 days.
16 days, which is really remarkable, actually, for someone with MS. But now, you went to the Supreme Court. What was that for?
That was over my last jury trial when the judge instructed the jurors to find me guilty.
Right, and you went to the Supreme Court, and they agreed unanimously, 9-0, that you had the right to have a jury nullify any type of conviction.
Correct.
And so now you went back and you've just had a jury trial. Is that correct?
No.
No.
I was just in front of a provincial court judge, and he found me guilty of 2 counts of trafficking and sentenced me to jail for 2 months on each of the 2 charges. So I have to go serve 4 months of jail time. However...
So that's coming up, 4 months of jail time. And the caveat is that they have to find a way for you to medicate in jail with marijuana.
Correct.
So you'd be the first Canadian that will be allowed to medicate, and the judge has already ordered them to prepare that for you. Now, you think something's going to happen that might stay that charge. Is that correct? Or that stay that conviction?
Correct, because the Department of Corrections will not let pot go into jail. So if they don't let it go in, what are they going to do with me? There is no official remedy for me, so it'll be a judicial staying of charges.
Now, you have a one-of-a-kind exemption that was awarded to you by the Alberta Court of Appeals. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that's Terry Parker also has a unique exemption, and yours is completely court-ordered. It's not a Section 56. It's not in accordance with the current medical marijuana access regulations.
Correct, it's not.
So you've still got trials coming up. Where are these?
I still have a trial to go to in Winnipeg, Manitoba, I have to fly in on January 4th for jury selection next year, and then I have the trial date there of January 14th to 18th.
So that's in Winnipeg for distributing to the Winnipeg clubs that were in the Grant Krieger Foundation. Now, what will happen in this Alberta case you've got?
Well, I have to go back to the day the judge sentenced me to 4 months in jail, he gave me the option of whether I wanted to go to jail then or wait till June 18th. To hear if the corrections is going to allow me to take pot into jail with me.
Grant Krieger, to me, is one of the greatest activists Canada's ever had. He's helped thousands of people. He's gone to jail an endless number of times. Now, I understand you're going to need some help, though. Unlike, a lot of people ask you for money. Hey, I've asked you for money. I've asked you money for the BC3 and what have you. And I would still say that we can really use the help in paying for our lawyers. But at the very least, our organization has a store and a magazine where we can promote extensively. And hopefully people will give us money to help us in those areas where we need the help, like in our lawyer. But you don't have a store, and you don't have an engine to help generate income for you, and yet you're going to court endlessly. And I dare say I've never seen you with any kind of money on, after all this weed you sold, you never really kept much of it yourself. I'm sure it's all been absorbed into seizures and given it away and what have you. You need help. We've got a PayPal address of admin at aboutcalgary.net. So that's Grant Krieger's PayPal address. We're going to put that up on the site, admin at aboutcalgary.net. Now, what's the money for that you need?
I need lawyers' money for legal fees for jury trial in Winnipeg. I need to file 2 appeals in Calgary, as well as I need to order 2 transcripts in Calgary.
And by the way, no jury has ever found you guilty, have they?
No.
No,
The last one did because the judge browbeat him into finding.
And that's how you got
guilty.
to the Supreme Court. The judge ordered them to find you guilty. The Supreme Court found that was illegal. Judges cannot order juries to come back with a guilty verdict. And so every other jury, until that one was compelled, has found you not guilty and let you free each time.
Correct.
So what do you expect will be the upshot of these court cases you're going to have?
Hopefully it's going to be able to amend the laws to help the sick of this nation.
And how do you figure that will happen? Are the jury's going to keep letting you go? Is that what you figure, and they'll just stop charging you?
I don't see much other choice, because I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to do it with my dying breath. So, and if they can't get me to go to jail, and I refuse to take a fine because that turns into jail.
Oh, yeah, for sure it does.
Okay, I don't.
And you don't take probation, too. I read your pre-sentence report. You are not repentant. You will not change your behavior. You will not conform to any orders of the court not to smoke marijuana or not to hang around with people. So you are always daring them to put you in jail.
Correct.
Yeah, and how's that working for you after 10 years?
We'll find out.
Yeah, and you look, when you're smoking pot, you look as good as you did 10 years ago. When you're not smoking pot, I notice you're quickly needing a wheelchair and a variety of other. You look bad when you don't have pot.
Yes.
So what does pot do for you? When you've looked over the years and compared it with every other substance, how's it helping you?
It's the best muscle relaxant I've come across.
Well, there you go. And for someone with multiple sclerosis, that's imperative, I take it.
Correct.
Grant, I hope people send you money. I hope do you have a website or anything they can go to?
KriegerFoundation.com.
And that's K-R-E-I.
K-R-I-E.
K-R-I-E. See, even I had it wrong, and I'm one of his close friends. So, Grant, it's great to have you on. I'm going to have that bong hit, I promised everybody, for my own gratuitous pleasure. Here, let me light that joint again. I wish you the best of luck. Join us tomorrow at 4:20 at the Art Gallery for the world's largest celebration of pot smokers. It's going to be fantastic. Let's hope the Canucks win tonight. And here's my 4:20 wish for the Canucks.
Good luck, Canucks.
Indeed, and see everybody on 4:20.